All right, guys, we are back. Thank you for joining in to the Proof Negative Show. We're here discussing many different topics tonight, and one of which is, well, I know that Hillary is supposed to testify in Benghazi, isn't she?
Yeah, but she fell down and she got a concussion.
She fell down and couldn't get up, huh?
Yeah, she didn't have one of those nifty little pager things around her neck.
Oh, well, that's a rather convenient way to get out of testifying in one of the biggest scandals ever that has shocked the White House. I can't see how that would happen, but she'll be back in time, right? She can't do anything otherwise.
You know, in this age of technology, wouldn't you think she could just use like Skype or GoToMeeting?
Yeah, I've been in court cases before when there's child support issues and they don't want to bring the guy into the jail, so they have him talk on a phone.
Yeah, you can definitely do you can do hearings via phone, and you can do hearings via video in some cases as well. But not if you are the Secretary of State,
Mm-hmm.
you fainted, hit your head, and you never go to the hospital or get any medical attention, and they say you have a concussion.
But she didn't go to the hospital, though.
No, they just knew.
Oh.
They didn't need a CAT scan or anything.
Oh, because I know people in football, they have a concussion, they beg to go back into the game.
Oh yeah, they do. They beg to go back into the game, and they do it over and over again as well. I wonder if Hillary will sue because she fell and hit her head.
Well, it depends. Did she hit her head on a gun store?
I'm not sure. I think maybe it was on government property. Do you think she'll sue the government?
That's a good thought, but if she's part of the government, I don't know if she can sue herself.
Well, she's not going to be part of the government for very much longer, if you know that.
Oh, so now I understand here, because they have John Kerry waiting to step in, and so Hillary will be decommissioned until her time is up, and then she cannot testify because she's no longer the Secretary of State.
Yeah, interestingly enough, as well as General Petraeus can't testify either because he had an affair with somebody after being happily married for 40-something years. He had this affair. It lasted about 6 months, and the general, one of the most high-powered generals in the United States Army, decided that he would leave emails in plain view, non-encrypted, without any protection for everyone to see, and then he would just withdraw and resign over this affair that has never turned into anything more than just fodder for, tabloids.
And I'll be totally honest. I've never met the man. I've never been anywhere near him. But the whole affair business just seems kind of fishy to me.
Brooke, it all ties back. This all ties back in a big, huge circle. It's such a tangled web. It's one of the top generals of African Command, which is one of the only places that can call off I forget the name of the strike when you need a ground target to identify when you're flying a plane. So like a force on the ground will identify the target, and then those planes will come in with the identification of the target that they get from the ground, and they'll bomb the target.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one who can give orders for those flights to stand down, besides the president himself. Not even the Pentagon can do it. And he also resigned from his post right after Benghazi. He was charged. He was accused of spending way too much money on vacation.
So what is so are they just going to leave the Benghazi open as they can't figure out who the real killer is?
I don't know, but
are they hiring O.J. Simpson by any chance?
Maybe it was O.J. Maybe they took him out of jail in the middle of the night, and they flew him to Benghazi, and they stuck him in there to do the dirty deeds. A lot of this ties back to Russia, as crazy as that may sound, but it does.
But it just seems like Benghazi is completely off of the radio and the smell-o-vision world right now. It's like it's all been solved. I guess Shaggy and Scooby-Doo got in the mystery van and figured out what it was, and they were able to hide all the evidence or find it and not tell anybody, one of the two.
Well, I mean, there were survivors of that attack that are not allowed to speak to anybody, and they're being held in their hospitals overseas. And a governor from the United States of America, who's some of the people that reside in his state, wanted to reach out to them and see how they were doing, and the federal government wouldn't let him do that. So that's another thing that's shrouded in secrecy over there. Not to be all conspiratorial on everybody, but this is fact.
Right, and I want to go back to our other story as well. We were talking about LIBOR. I call it LIBOR because it's a whole big lie. I don't know if it's Libor or LIBOR. But anyway, it just seems as though that if we thought Benghazi was a cover-up, LIBOR in 2012 might have been the biggest covered-up story in the United States.
Yeah, and it's ongoing. I mean, it's ongoing, and that is a big deal for the banking industry, the global banking industry. And it's all the fat cats with their money, and they don't care. They have the power to pull strings and do anything, and they're evil people, evil people. If there's a chance for them to fall and they can pull some strings, no matter how many people they have to kill to do it, they're more than willing to do it, and we've seen that time and time again.
So can you share with the audience what the LIBOR scandal is, or what do you know about it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very, very basic knowledge about LIBOR. Pretty much my basic knowledge from the brief reading that I've done, and please don't.
No, that's fine.
But pretty much what it is that the banks all get together to determine the interest rates that they use to loan money to one another. And so apparently there were some banks that were involved in some fraud when it came to this, and they were taking the extra monies and putting them in different secret bank accounts to pocket that money. So the companies and the banks that were involved in this pocketing, some of the high-level accountants, i.e. The father of the killer and the father of your shooter, were whistleblowers that were going to say where these accounts were, how they were formed. Both of them were accountants, I believe. And they were both going to testify as to how this fraud was perpetrated, who did it, and where the money went. Now, if this happens, the trust relationship, if you could call it that, between international and national banks is broken. And the whole banking system is corrupt and broken at that point. So if the truth gets out about exactly what happened and who did what, it would be catastrophic for the fat cats in their pockets. That's exactly...
Well, I guess my question is, why is it that none of these whistleblowers just stood up anyway?
Well, because they've gotten their families killed.
Yeah, but at that point, if their families were killed, all that's left is you. You might as well go ahead and share now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I don't know. Maybe they're scared of something else. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, what would you do?
Well, if my family was hacked up because I knew something and was going to blow the whistle, I would do it anyway. If it already happened, what's the worst that can happen?
You always see in these movies how people are like manipulated and made to feel powerless by this kind of violence and coercion, and people are just afraid.
Or if you really think something's about to happen, I believe in the policy of not telling anybody that you're going to say something, and just send your family out of town and just randomly go into a news station and just start talking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that if you wanted to die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my family would be safe.
Well, for now. I mean, you think that these people don't have resources in every facet of government in every country that would be able to locate your family and take care of them?
Well, I don't know. I assume so, but at the same time, If they've killed your family, what do you have left?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wish we could get into the minds of some of these guys and figure it out. I doubt they'd give us an interview.
No, probably not. They're not going to talk about whistleblowing and why they didn't want to say anything. Especially not an alternative radio like we have. I mean, maybe someone on 60 Minutes could talk them into it, but I guess that leads into another topic here of why is it that because our radio is primarily internet-based. I mean, I have one AM affiliate out there, but primarily I'm internet-based, and what I say and what we cover here doesn't count as much because if I was anything, I'd be on 60 Minutes or CNN or Fox News. And you can basically say anything about anybody, and the fact that you're on the smell-o-vision, people will believe you.
It's all-powerful.
Mm-hmm.